This next hunt is Keith, when he shoots a 210-pound racked buck that he chased for 3 years. I was with him a couple times where we tried to get in the same tree and videotape this deer where he actually knew what was coming out of, and every time we sat there it didn't come by. But he ended up having this deer under his tree 2 years before he killed it, or the year and a half before he killed it, and he ended up wounding it. And but to make a long story short, he got it. He got the kill on video. It was a beautiful rack buck. I can remember him telling me stories of this deer before he got it, and he got it on video. You're gonna watch that next. 210-pound bow kill buck in New Hampshire. That was muzzleloader season too. Okay, bye.
Me, 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 me. Me. Holy shit. I got him. I got him. Whew. I just shot a rack buck. My 100th deer. I just shot a rack buck. It's my 100th deer with a bow and arrow. I can't believe it. Oh, boy. Stolen up in the tree stand. It's November 4th. Sitting in a tree stand that I prepared a couple of years ago. Cut a shooting lane right down through the woods right here. Just had a rock buck step out in that opening. Shot him. Beautiful out here. It's November 4th. Just shot a nice rack buck this morning. Cleared this path out a few years back to this tree. Set my tree stand on it right here. I walked in this morning, I tied a tassel gland on the bottom of my foot. Came down this trail. I was on the way up the tree and I remembered I had the tassel gland on. I usually hang it in a tree somewhere. So I just reached over and I hung it in the tree right here, hoping a buck was going to cross my trail and come to my tree stand. I climbed up the tree early this morning, and about 9:15 this morning, I saw a deer coming through the woods, and he started going the other way. I gave a few calls. He turned, walked up to the edge of the stone wall, stood there for about 5 minutes, gave a couple more calls. He stood there for another couple minutes, then he started walking straight towards me. He stepped into a shooting lane that I cleared out a few years back. Broadside at about 30 yards. He turned his head, looked the other way. I drew back, put my sights right on him, aimed a little bit low. I shot him right through the chest. Beautiful racker. Let's go check him out.
There he is. Just found my arrow about
15-20 yards over there. Made a good shot on him. Looks like he's going to be close to 200 pounds. Big deer anyways. Beautiful rack buck. New Hampshire during the muzzleloader season. And, just unbelievable. My 100th deer with a bow, and I can't be more happy. Shoot one. Home state. Another rack buck. Third rack buck this year. Fifth deer. Fourth deer with this arrow. What a day. What a day. This is great. This rack buck right here that I shot, there's a real good chance that this is the deer that I shot last year. I wounded one last year and didn't get it. Thought I made a good shot on it. I made a fake scrape. And I passed up about 5 deer, came through the night before I shot at this deer. Came walking out and followed my scent trail in and was actually peeing in the scrape that I made when I shot him. He was only about 18 yards away. Thought I made a good shot on him. It was just a few minutes before legal shooting light. And we tracked him the next day for about 8 hours. And we jumped the deer right in this brush pile right here, which is right where this deer was headed for when I called to him. He came walking up along the edge of that stone wall, and he started heading over to that thick spot right there. I gave a few calls to it. He stood there for 5 minutes and he decided to come over and see what was going on over there from the calls, and he walked within 30 yards and they made a good shot on him this year. But it's in the same area, and he was bedded down right there when we jumped him up after tracking him for 8 hours and not getting him. It was pretty disappointing, but there's a real good chance that this is the buck that I arrowed last year. Pretty incredible.
Okay.
Another one for the freezer. Backed up on the butchering again. Hey, I think you're going to have to put that camera down and give me a hand with this one.
Okay, I'll give you a hand.
This is the deer I shot on October 4th, 2010. A nice rack buck from New Hampshire. He was 210 pounds. And this is the carcass. I just skinned it out. And this is the deer that we thought was a deer that I wounded in 2009. Didn't recover. And I believe this is the deer because there's a big scar right on the deer's back on the right hand side of him here. He's got a scar just above the shoulder blade. That is probably the wound from the arrow. I didn't get, unfortunately. The deer was headed right to the same bedding area that we jumped the deer last. In 2009 we tracked this deer for 8 hours and jumped him, and he survived. And this deer was shot just probably about just a few 50 yards or so from where we jumped the last deer the previous year. Same one.